everybody, thank you for joining me today. On today's technique video, we're going to be doing some ink blending again, but I have a new tool that I want to share. So everyone's been talking about these um, amazing, life-changing brushes, and I happened to be at the store and I saw that there were these very similar, I guess, a new style of makeup brush. And I was like, well, I'm sure these would work. And of course, I had to get them because if you don't know this about me, I love everything pink. And so the fact that they were like a pink and a rose gold, I had to try it. So I'm using the Distress Oxides. And I'm starting, I believe this is picked raspberry. And just laying it down. I'm using my Tim Holtz glass mat, and I think I'm doing like just basically like a little circular motions, little like brushing motion on the actual pad to get the ink, and then I'm just wiping it off on my microfiber cloth to clean it so that way I can go to the next color. And it's very easy to blend with these as well. I think it's a little bit getting used to because it just feels different in your hand in comparison to using a regular distress tool. But I found that they went on just as easily as if you used your regular tool. I will say they go on at a heavier rate than if you were using your stencil brushes. The stencil brushes, it's more of a definitely a lighter fill because it takes a longer time to, get all that ink on. But this went on just like using the regular distress tools. So I think either way, if you don't have distress tools, but you want to be able to do blending, I say get you some of these. If you are a regular crafter who already has those, but just wanting to look for maybe another tool or something else that may help you in applying your inks to your paper, go ahead and get them. If you can find them cost effective, I say go for it. Because I did the same exact steps that I would with the blending tool, and I think it turned out just as well. So whenever you're doing the distress inks, and I'm just trying to clean off my brush there, I used a little bit of the stamp cleaner just to kind of make sure that it's really clean. I did heat this with my heat tool just to make sure that it was dry, and then I grabbed what's that thing called? The powder tool to make sure no static is on my paper there. And here's the thing. You see this other stamp that's on the outside? Sometimes I'll store my stamps there, especially when I'm doing my videos, so that way I can remember to go back, clean them, and then put them away. Well, in doing so, I didn't get a really good pressure down on my centerpiece. Okay, so I'm trying to clean it. I was right there. I'm like, okay, let me just clean this. It'll help me press down, and then I should be good. Well, when I go to put my rose gold embossing powder on it, I notice that it's splotchy in the center because I really didn't get a good press. And so I'm looking at it. I tried to put down some more, and I'm like, nope, that's not going to work. So before I heat up anything, I just take the brushes. I got them right here over to the side, and I'm like, let's clean it off and start over. That's one of the benefits of the Misty tool, okay? Now, here's the thing. With you putting it back on the Misty tool, you definitely got to remember where you're placing your items. I think I wind up putting it either too far down. I didn't put it on the correct line. It's going to line up pretty well, but it's just a slight difference. And I noticed it because, I'm doing it right here. But when it was all said and done in the end, it didn't look out of the way. But I'm just saying, if you ever have to restamp and you have your stamp platform, just make sure you're putting your project into the same place. I just didn't want to start over from scratch, especially with having to do the background again. So be careful. So once I get my embossing powder back into its container, I'm going to grab the heating tool, let it warm up. Well, it's kind of already warm up at this point, and then we're just going to heat it up. Now, whenever you're doing your heat embossing, if you have trouble seeing like if it's melted or not because you don't want to overheat it, just tilt it on the angle, and once you see it shiny, then you know it's melted. If you tilt it and it looks dull, then you know you have to heat that section up because it'll be shiny on that angle. Okay? And then there is our image, and then we're just going to do a sentiment. I think I wound up doing happy birthday because I'm going to do it kind of like this card right here. And I'm going to have happy birthday, and then I decided to also put down some white Nuvo drops. And I will give you a hint or a tip on this as well. If you're putting the white Nuvo drops on top of Distress Oxide inks, as it dries, it does bring that color into the white dots. So if you don't want your Nuvo drops to what's the word, change color, then I wouldn't put it on top of Distress ink because Distress ink does tint it a little bit as it dries. All right, and here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. All the links to scrapbookingwithme.com will be down below. Definitely check them out. I know she has a few of the Distress Oxides left. I'm telling you guys, you won't be disappointed if you use those. And make sure you use my coupon code TT15 when you go to checkout. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great day.